And here they come, running into the finish line. Yes, what a courage, ladies and gentlemen. What courage. Okay, hi. Okay, nou, we staan hier dus met de mannen van Grid 2. And guys, please introduce yourselves.
I'm Graham Bromley. I'm the lead level designer on Grid 2.
And I'm Lee Roberts. I'm senior game designer on RaceNet.
All right. Well, the first question, of course, that is on everybody's mind. You guys took like 5 years to build Grid 2. Are there so many differences compared with the first one?
Oh yeah, it's a massive step forward. I mean, if you see them side by side, I mean, Grid 1 was an amazing game, and there was a massive amount of pressure to really take this game and move it forward, not just churn out another sequel that would somehow lessen the experience. So we've added things like the true feel handling, which has addressed some people's concerns about how difficult it was to initially get into the car handling on Grid 1. And that's made it really accessible, but at the same time has still retained that level of depth. So once you've learnt the car, you will be scraping tenths of a second off laps as you really push for key times.
In the first game, we had like 48 something cars. How many cars do we have right now?
There are more than 50 cars in this game, and all of them great. There's no mum's shopping trolley. It's all top.
Some great supercars, McLaren and all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, McLaren MP12 4C. So yeah.
I think we kind of say they're all hero cars in essence. Yeah, they're all hero cars. They're all good cars. There's no rubbish cars in there.
All thriller, no filler.
They're all they are also cars that we could possibly never afford. Were the manufacturers, were they keen on and willing to help you guys with the game?
Oh yeah, I mean the manufacturers have been massively supportive, and we've had guys from various different car manufacturers come in and talking to the car handling teams about how their car should feel and be balanced, and helping with the deformation and some of the damage stuff. So yeah, they've been really, really supportive.
Oh, great. Also, you guys have some realistic tracks. We saw like Yas Marina and we saw Paris. What else is there? Which parts of the world?
It's quite a few. Barcelona. We've got
Paris, Barcelona. You've said there's Dubai track that we have.
Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, we have a city circuit around Chicago. The Algarve track you've played today. We have Brands Hatch in Indianapolis as well. Yeah. So a lot of great
classic ones.
Yeah, from around the world. Yeah.
Okay, what's your personal favorite and favorite car?
City track wise, I'm going to go with Paris. I think it's just beautiful. Some of the corners are just awesome.
Tricky corners.
There are some tricky corners. They're a good challenge, but once you've hooked up the oversteer and you slide around them, you feel awesome.
Right.
And I'm quite a big fan of the Corvette, the little Corvette that's in the checkpoint mode. I think it's the CO6. Great car.
Okay, cool.
So I also like Paris because I hold the record on that currently for the checkpoint event. For me, it's the Jag. It's the Jag in checkpoint.
Okay.
The Jaguar is awesome for the little car. It really is.
Just to figure out, what is the current record?
Was it 41,000? 4175 feet? Yeah.
Nou, dus daar ligt de lat. Dan weet je dat ook weer. There's a lot of questions like, why did it take 5 years? So there must be a shitload of improvements that you guys did.
Oh, there are, absolutely. I mean, we touched on some a little earlier with the true feel handling. I mean, to get that even started, we had to get the physics to run at 1,000 hertz a second. That took a very long time to do. When we launched Grid 1, it was very early in the console generation, so we were pushing a new engine and trying to find out just what we could deliver. A lot of the tech that we wanted to do, a lot of the advances just weren't possible at that time. We just didn't have enough time and experience with the systems to get the best out of them. And as I said before, we didn't want to just churn out a sequel that would just tail off. We wanted to make another big step forward. So, in terms of the lighting, the shaders, the particle effects, they're all so much more improved.
Yeah, I think the game design as well needed to be right. It needed to do that original game justice. We can't, like as Graham says, don't want to release a game just for the sake of releasing the game. We want to make sure it's right when it comes out. So the expansions to the single player mode, as well as kind of a total overhaul really of the multiplayer modes as well. It's kind of everything we've done for the past few years is all added to this, and it's all gone into Grid 2.
It's funny you mentioned that the first Grid was one of the first games for the new consoles, for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Ironically, it's also one of the last ones perhaps to be released before we have the new consoles. Do you work on new stuff on next gen already?
I mean, I'll pass that question to Lee. I mean, I've been focused on just getting this game to be the best it can be on this generation, so I've not had a lot of time to think about what we're going to do next.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got an eye on next gen for sure. I think we're constantly looking at ways we can evolve and move our products on. Definitely, I think the games like Grid and how we can kind of add to these experiences and what the next gen consoles are going to bring and how we can add the technologies in. So yeah, we're always looking at the future, always looking how we can expand games and how we can improve them. So yeah, I definitely think we're looking at it currently. Yeah,
it sounds that it's almost impossible to make a product that's worse or.
Yeah, well, you've always got to make it better.
I
I think for us, we constantly want to up our game with the competition as well. In racing, you've always got to kind of be at the best. And with Grid 2, you know, we're really proud of what's been done. And I think moving forward, we've always got to evolve it and constantly add to it as well. So yeah, I think
particularly with Grid 1, I mean, it was such a loved game, and there are people still playing it today, you know, online on Xbox. So you know, we really had to do.
Yeah, but only on Xbox, because that's the only server that's still running.
I know. That's a shame. You know, wasn't me.
Yes, must have been kicked a lot of times.
Yeah, I know. It made a lot of people unhappy, but like I say, those guys who are lucky enough to still be playing, you know, we wanted to make a game that they would want to play.
Yeah, speaking about multiplayer, there was a big part of the presentation. Actually, the whole presentation was about multiplayer. You guys did a lot of things, especially about banning, you know, crookeds that messed it up for other people.
Yeah. I mean,
was that important?
It was. I mean, when you go onto the servers today and you see there's a lot of guys who are very into the touring car and they're doing a lot of touring car service that's still very popular. And we'll sit there and we'll join in and we'll play with them. And you see sometimes guys who are incredibly good at racing, you know, and wanting to keep clean races and have nice competitive events. And then somebody will join on and race the wrong way and basically spoil their afternoon. So we wanted to set up some options that people could customize. So if they like doing that kind of thing, if they like trading paint, you can still play that way. But for those guys who wanted to keep it clean and professional, we've set them up a way that they can now set servers so that only the best drivers, only the cleanest drivers will be able to compete in there.
Okay, and some other big things that are new for multiplayer?
Yeah, I mean, there's a variety of features we've kind of got. So we've got a global challenge mode, which is going to be kind of live new events every single week. So we're going to add 9 new events in the game every single week.
Yeah, that's created by you.
Yeah, created by the RaceNet kind of servers. They get pushed into the game. So every 7 days, there's going to be 9 new events for you to undertake. Kind of moving away from kind of long-term leaderboards, more weekly. So there's always a chance of hitting that top spot.
Yeah, because if you miss one of the 9 or 2 or...
Exactly. It's all about kind of giving the player kind of as much as choice as we can. So we're mixing up kind of car and track combinations every single week and all these different modes that we can support too. So kind of giving the player kind of ultimate choice about what they want to take part in. They could take part in a few, they could take part in all of them. It's totally up to them.
All right, and the good news is that when I have like a great way to take over somebody or a nice crash that I really want to share with my friends, you can put it on YouTube and more.
So the YouTube feature we've kind of featured in previous Codemasters games. This time,
it was in Dirt.
Yeah, it's in Dirt. It's in Dirt Showdown. Kind of we always use that as a really good way to show off kind of unique crashes and stunts. Kind of with it in Grid 2, we're expanding it further so that those videos are going to be featured on the RaceNet website as well. So the more likes and the more views it gets on YouTube, so get your mates to like it and view it as much as possible. The chances they're going to be showcased then on the website back at RaceNet for the whole community to see.
Daar gaan we het bij laten. Dankjewel. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
That's Spanish for thank you a lot.
Thank you very much.
En tot de volgende.